Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very, very special emergency. We've hit the emergency podcast button for swapping joysticks, and it's our first ever emergency podcast. We suggested doing it a couple of weeks ago. Like, if there's anything big that's breaking, whatever, let's jump in. We'll do a quick podcast. We're probably going to do one for the Game Awards, although that'll probably be the weekly one. But I didn't expect it to be this soon. That we're just suddenly like, oh, we've got stuff to talk about. It's the GTA trailer, obviously.
It's the GTA trailer, which we was teased last week and was meant to be coming tomorrow. So we're recording this Monday night.
Yes, literally about less than an hour. It was released 52 minutes ago.
It was meant to be coming tomorrow, which we'd all had planned. Everything was scheduled. Everything was planned. Everyone was ready for it. And then it leaked. And as a result of the leak, Rockstar said, screw it, we'll just release the full trailer ourselves. And so suddenly, the trailer is out on the internet.
And it is now officially the most liked video game video of all, not just a trailer, but the most liked video game YouTube video of all time in 50 minutes. The most liked is the Battlefield 1 trailer with 2.4 million likes. It's on 2.7, and we've got it up on the screen. We're not going to show it. You've all seen it. I think everybody's seen it so far. But we're gonna obviously talk about it, what we want from GTA. And what's just happened, really, because, I feel sorry. Well, I don't feel sorry. In fact, I absolutely do not feel sorry for the person that leaked it, but they must feel so shitty now that their life is probably going to be ruined by the lawsuits and stuff that Rockstar are going to pull out. Because this will have cost them a lot, Rockstar, because that video will be being watched by so many people, but like having that out there, turning, for people to watch this buy Bitcoin shit that was on there.
Yeah, that was.
Don't buy
rubbish.
Bitcoin. Don't buy it.
Don't do that.
Well,
but also just the knock-on of journalists and everyone else who's carefully planned their coverage and now is like rushing to sort this out. Like there's such a knock-on effect for these things leaking early.
And yes, I mean that Rockstar, I'm sure, will be able to prove that, like, hey, you got all these views and stuff and they've got a trailer up on here that's got ads. There are people that we know that we use YouTube Premium because I'm a fool and I waste my money, but like there are ads on there, so that guy will have taken ad revenue, or will have, I'm sure Rockstar will be able to prove that caused damage, and that guy's going to be paying through the nose for quite a while.
Well, I mean, in some ways, I'm not surprised that it leaked because we had a massive data leak, which was awful when Rockstar was hacked.
Yeah,
and I think they are very, very protective. But at the same time, leaks are happening more and more and more for like every big release that comes out, like a week beforehand. Oh, the full game's on the internet. So leaks are so commonplace these days, which is infuriating and should not happen. But here we are.
And
we have the leak.
The hype for this is just unreal. It's unlike anything you will have ever seen before. Like we can just say, it's now 2.8 million likes within a couple of minutes more. It's just like you will never have seen. This will be kind of like setting the goal for years to come.
But does the trailer justify that hype?
Okay, let's talk about.
That's the question.
So Rockstar then released it and they said, hey, go to our YouTube video and check it out. And I'm interested to see tomorrow once the views have balanced, because at the moment it just shows 100,000 views, but 2.8 million likes. So that usually takes about 24 hours to update. But I'm interested to see. But like watching that, the first.
Well, we should say like the big major news is the release date.
That is the big,
because I think everyone's been expecting this for 2024. Rockstar, Take-Two, so the publisher, had said in their financial report earlier this year, expects like big things coming in 2024, boom, boom, boom. So they've kind of really hyped this up and everyone's been expecting, right, GTA is going to drop in 2024. We knew that this trailer was coming this week. And so for the release date, we don't have a full release date, but we know it's coming 2025.
Yeah, so when you said that they, expect big things in 24, was that 24, 25? Because who knows, maybe this will be a March release. We've seen that with, was it May, the Switch, or was that March? I think that was March, wasn't it?
March, yeah.
So and that's become a bit of another like hot date to release things. So it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, that's because it's the end of the financial year, so it's let's make loads of money at the end of the year. That's why stuff happens in March. I don't know exactly if we thought it was financial year or not, but
everyone's going to go back and check.
Still, it's, people were definitely expecting next year. So to have it as 2025 is, I think, in all honesty, the biggest surprise of the whole trailer.
I think the fact that, I mean, there was that leak of the gameplay a few weeks ago, months ago.
Months
ago,
if not last year. That was a long
Was
time.
that a long time?
It was a long time ago.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously not weeks. When I saw that, I thought, okay, it looks quite polished, but obviously it's not perfect. And then, no, those people were probably summarily executed, but that released it and leaked it. What I would say is, I always thought Rockstar were ones that, and this is just based on my own feelings. I'm not sure if GTA 5 trailer did that, but I got the impression that they would release the trailer when it's not too far away from coming out.
Exactly.
As Bethesda do.
I mean, GTA is so big, you don't need to have like 3 years of hype, because you can have 3 weeks of hype. You could have 3 minutes of hype and just drop the game, and people would be all over it.
They could say this was coming out in Christmas, and it would still be the biggest selling game of all time.
Yeah. So in terms of timing, I guess it's interesting to think, well, why have they chosen now if it's not coming out till 2025? Do they need to build hype? What is left of the game to be created? This trailer seems
online cards downloadable stuff.
Well, we know so little about this in terms of what's going to be included. Presumably, we can see from the trailer that it's looking pretty decent already, pretty slick. They've obviously got the story and the gameplay lined up, I'm sure. How much GTA Online is going to be part of this, and how much does that need to be developed as part of the full package? That, for me, is maybe part of the reason why it's still a way off.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to work out how to move over to a new GTA Online as part of this, potentially. We don't know for sure. So it's interesting timing, but it's maybe a bit disappointing that it's still quite a way off.
Yeah, I mean, all of next year is going to be people going, oh, is there any more information on GTA 5? Any other game's just going to be, whenever anything new from GTA 5 comes out, it's just going to eclipse. Because this is down as trailer 1. So I wonder if trailers
there'll be multiple
2,
trailers.
3, 4, they better announce when those trailers are coming out, because otherwise people are going to be pissed when they find out that, oh shit, there's a new GTA trailer coming out. Cancel all our press releases that week. I
mean, it's more of a vibe trailer. It doesn't give away too much of the story and the setting necessarily, or gameplay.
Yeah.
It's more just a kind of, here's an idea of what the game is going to be, which, in all honesty, I'm not blown away by. Only in that it's basically confirming everything that we already knew about the game.
I feel it gave away a little bit more than GTA 5's trailer, because I watched that earlier today, and as far as I remember, I've got the worst memory in the world, and I've had a glass of wine tonight, but that had Michael, who... Have you played GTA 5?
Yeah. You
finished it?
Yeah.
So is Michael, the guy, he's doing the voiceover, or I think he's chatting, and like Franklin, I think you just see in a car driving past, and Trevor, I can't remember seeing him too much, but like it wasn't obvious. I don't think that it was 3 protagonists.
Exactly.
Whereas this is like, hey, these are the 2 protagonists. But then who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe there is a secret third person that we don't know about. Or, I'm sure they will. I mean, 100% they'll be hiding, and they'll be, hiding some big things from us in this trailer, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be people going and deep diving it right now. I mean, this is a podcast where we're just going to be talking about the trailer. We'll go into it in a little bit more detail soon, but there are people who will be analyzing frame by frame, and I'm sure there's certain things hidden. Like, I think IGN spotted there was like, we do not, on one of the, it was on the door when they break in at the end, or when they go into the shop at the end, on the door it says, we do not accept cash stored in underwear. And just like these tiny little things that everyone's going to kind of find and make a big, Twitter thread about, and YouTube video.
Of course.
I mean, we're jumping on it right now.
Here we are right now. So what we knew beforehand, or what had sort of leaked or had been presumed, is that it was current day. It's Vice City.
It is current day. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, is there going to be an 80s thing?
No, it's current day.
Yeah.
It's Vice City, which is based on Miami, in Florida. It's a Latino woman protagonist. Latina, sorry. Oh, God.
Wow,
that's me cancelled. Latina.
No, just you don't speak Spanish.
No, I just don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Latina woman, and a...
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Can I just say Latina? Does that imply woman?
No, I think, I don't know, just...
Okay. It is a woman of Latin descent.
Latin American.
Latin American,
or maybe Spanish. Who knows?
Anyway, and
You're trying so
I'm
hard.
trying, and a man. So there's dual protagonists. And a man.
A generic man with a slightly hairy chest, which I thought you'd appreciate.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. No, he saw him. He was stroking his. She was stroking his chest.
Oh yeah, him. So dual protagonists, which we knew, and we've heard that there's going to be a sort of Bonnie and Clyde kind of vibe to it. Everything we've seen in the trailer confirms all of those things. And from the leak that you mentioned earlier, which was a gameplay leak, there was a part of that was a sort of robbery. It was like a heist in a diner kind of vibe with two protagonists, and it's like this is exactly that vibe.
That's in the end of the trailer, I'm pretty sure, is them breaking into robbing a diner.
Yeah,
that's like the last bit is them going in there
exactly
into a diner.
So it's kind of confirming everything that we knew or suspected about the game, which is partly why I'm slightly nonplussed by the trailer, as much as it is super exciting that GTA is back. There's not, I mean, I've watched it once so far, but there's not a huge amount in it that I'm surprised about. I'm like, oh, okay, it's GTA, cool.
Yeah, the first thing that when I watched that, I was like, yeah, this is a next video. This is like the next video game in the GTA series, and I'm not meaning that obviously, yes, of course it is, but it's very much a next GTA. They're not doing anything new. They're not redefining them all. They're not going off in a weird direction to kind of reinvent the wheel. That's the phrase I was looking for. So they're not reinventing the wheel. They're like, hey, we know what you like. We know you like a big city, lots of things going on, lots of modern kind of references. That's what we've got. And they've got the social media in there. There's like reels, like Twitter, YouTube short reels.
That's the one thing for me that surprised me, because it's sort of new, and I like that there are all these sort of real videos in there.
But they did that with GTA 5. Like you had your mobile phone came up and you had all the apps on there.
True, but like the way that they've put the videos in here, literally like it's TikTok or something. Like that's clearly a piss take of social media in current times. And for me, that's what I like about GTA, is the parody elements of what are they taking from current day and then twisting into something funny. And for me, the sort of TikTok video vibe of it is very much that, which I really like.
That's what I really liked about Watch Dogs 2, because they took there was so much. In fact, it was even more. And obviously, like Saints Row does it to a even greater degree, but Watch Dogs 2, they were really taking the piss out of kind of California life, which you've never played, actually, have you?
I haven't, no.
You really, really need to play it. It's a really good game.
I've heard good things.
And it's just, and you can, there's just like, well, I won't go into that, but you should play Watch Dogs 2. There's a lot of ways you can approach levels and things with all your gadgets, which is great. But one thing I love the pop culture, and I got real vibes. There was the woman in the bikini and like partying with like the USA bikini in the mud, and all these like people with a beard and literally there's a guy behind her that has, when people post something that's really kind of right-wing racist and stupid, and people post as that image of like all the typical Facebook pictures, and it's the people with like the black strap around sunglasses, the baseball cap, and like a big beard. It's like literally that man on there. Yep. And I really hope they take the piss out of Trump's America. And this game could be coming out when Trump is the president.
And remember, it's set in Florida.
It's set in Florida. There's already of course there's a gator in there.
There's a lot of gator attacks.
Yes.
Which is quite funny.
But this is set in Florida and I hope I'm not jinxing this. I mean, by the way, it's 3 million likes now. This is going to be like 10 by tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. But like this is going to be released after, unless it's like, it won't be right at the beginning because it's 2025. So the next president, whether it's Biden or probably Trump, will be sworn in at the very beginning of January 2025. So like when this game comes out, they could well have Trump as a president. So if this is set in Florida, there's going to be a lot of piss takes of that and those type of people, I'm sure, that support him.
But this is another interesting thing about the release and about how long it's taking to develop. And obviously games these days take years and years and years to develop. They're huge things, and this especially is massive.
And when Final Fantasy used to have a different one each year.
Yeah. So of course this is going to take a very long time to develop. But also when it is something that is about current day and is about parodying things. And what we've seen from this trailer is that it's all stuff that we kind of knew about from leaks that were from a year ago, or however long. So like it makes me just think, not in a bad way necessarily, but just think about how long this has been in development. At what point were story beats and things set in stone? And if this was sort of already written a couple of years ago and it's not out for another year or two, but like, is it still relevant? So how much do they have to keep updating this? And it doesn't have to be specifically like now, but they can take general themes from the last couple of years, of course. Like Trump's America is definitely a theme.
The thing is, like, Trump's America could quite easily come back next year, and I mean that would be good for GTA because they'll be like, oh hey, our game is incredibly relevant again. Whereas if the Republican Party had decided, hey, let's go back to a bit of kind of boring normalcy, or not wild extremism, like when I thought they were going to have like Jeb Bush or someone last time when they instead elected Trump, like someone like John McCain or whatever like that. If they decided this time, that's the way that they were going to be going, which it doesn't look like they are, then this would have been really out of date. But it seems like, Trump's America is there, especially in Florida.
Yes.
But anyway, that's a lot of politics. But anyway, that's what I got from a lady in a USA bra, mud, and a guy who definitely has either a profile picture of him with the beard and the sunglasses and the cap, or a dog.
So I guess the majority of the trailer is focused on the lead woman, and I guess the story is going to be on her story. We should say as well, that's pretty awesome that there is a woman. I mean, this is ridiculous that in 2025 we will finally get a GTA game where you can play as a woman.
I mean,
but like,
this is the 5th installment in the main series, and how long did it take Final Fantasy?
This will be 6th.
6, sorry. Yeah. I mean, there are a few other franchises that took a while.
Yeah, but come on. This is GTA and it's 2025. I'm sorry.
Is this was GTA 5 the first time with multiple protagonists? Because San Andreas, Vice City, I kind of just goofed around like as a sandbox. I never really actually played the story of those games.
Yeah, you were always a man and it was one protagonist. That was the big thing about 5, was that it was 3 and you could switch between them. Presumably this is 2 and you can switch between them. Who knows? We're guessing.
Yeah, maybe.
So the fact that there's a woman and it's her story is already mind-blowing for most people.
But I think that's been received really well so far. From what I can see on there, people seem to like her. I'm really intrigued to see, and I'd love it to have an amazing story. And I'm obviously, but like the way that their relationship, because from the trailer, I need to check, but the person that she was in bed with, was that the man that she was doing the robbery with at the end, or was it someone different? I can't.
Well, he's got a bandana on.
So in that one, that guy there at 1:15, is he the same one at? Maybe it is actually.
Probably.
Yeah, because I wonder if there is some. Oh, is that the same girl? I don't know, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of those two. If it is that they're lovers, or if they were with other people, and I don't know. I'm interested. I mean, really interested to see if there's like a love story in this, because how do you fit that into something like GTA?
Very heteronormative of you, Benjamin.
Maybe she goes off with another woman then.
Yes,
okay,
maybe she's just got out of prison.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going down Orange is the New Black.
Okay. Are you going to say she's a lesbian next, aren't you?
Maybe, yeah. You never know. Wouldn't that be lovely?
No, not all violent women are lesbians, Ed.
You are twisting my words. You are absolutely twisting my words.
Maybe he becomes gay. Maybe he's gay.
Maybe
that would be
gay.
Even better.
There you go.
A gay. Oh my god, a gay male main character and a woman would be.
Well, GTA 4 had the Ballad of Gay Tony as its DLC.
I need to.
Which I've actually not played, but you're not playing as Gay Tony. It's just that he is
gay.
He is a gangster and he's gay. As far as I am aware, and I think it's quite stereotyped.
I can't wait to play it. I think I should actually go through. I think one thing that would make quite an interesting YouTube series, I think, is me playing through the old GTA's stories. I wonder how long the stories are.
They're not actually that long. It's more that the gameplay is terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
the old games, they have not aged well.
They haven't,
unfortunately.
I used to love GTA 3. I used one. Well, I'm going to go on to this in a second, but first, remind me to ask you what you want from this game. What little things? Yeah. But first, one thing I did notice, and I was going to mention it before. One thing I really noticed was the density of people and cars is so much more realistic than previous games. Like you're going on I think it was a motorway, or there was the beach there, and it was just like full of people and full of cars. In the trailer. Yeah. Full of people, full of cars. And it reminds me a bit of Spider-Man 2, like how Marvel Spider-Man 2 had a lot more people, had a lot more cars on the street, and it made New York seem a lot more realistic. It still wasn't realistic, but it still had a lot more cars in the streets than even in Spider-Man Remastered.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a testament to how decent these new current gen consoles are.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I really liked. And I love that, you're on a beach, it's busy. It's sunny, it's busy. Of course it's going to be busy. And then there's the motorways or the highways that look like they've got quite a lot of traffic on there as well. So I don't know, realism like that I really appreciate. And it seems like that's, they're able to do that.
I think they'll be aiming for realism. I mean, there's always a slight sense of stylization in GTA games, but I think in general they are aiming for realism. So they'll be looking at that. And I think what a lot of people, I think, value in GTA games is that feel of a living, breathing city that is alive around you, and you are an inhabitant in the city living your life. And there are all these, outside of the story, there's all these other things to go and do.
Yeah.
Now, in a lot of ways, that's stuff that I feel slightly torn, basically, because I think in a lot of open world games, I really value the storytelling. Like, that's what I'm interested in. In something like Starfield, which I still haven't played, for me, like, I'm not interested in shipbuilding and base building and whatever. I just want a good story. And I think in GTA, I sort of look at this, and as we were saying, it's the story of these two protagonists, and I think there's a lot of potential there. That could be a really interesting love story, or not, or something else. And from the trailer, it feels like there's quite an emphasis on their story, which I hope is an emphasis in the game, because that for me is what's going to draw me in is the story. But then I think what a lot of people enjoy about GTA is being able to just go off and live in the world and do random things. And I hope that there's a good balance there, that other stuff doesn't overtake the story. But still, there's a nice element of that you can still be in the world.
Just that we've stopped at the 1 minute 3 seconds, and it says no overturning zone. Cops arrest man who flipped his car after Pee-wee's Dine and Dash. Oh, Dine and Dash. I was thinking like that might be when they raided the Pee-wee's place, but actually, no, that's not a Dine and Dash. Dine and Dash is just when you eat and run. Well, how cool would it be?
If you say so.
How cool would it be if at the beginning, and how upsetting, and they would never do this, if they did like a Metal Gear Solid 2 type thing where he got arrested and you actually are playing as the woman the entire time. And they were they were just tricking everybody with that diner hold up, and he got arrested or whatever, she escaped, and then you're like on the run, and you're the main protagonist there. Who knows? There are going to be a million people suggesting this, but I misread that as like Pee-wee's, like I misread that as like somebody got arrested after the shootout, but it sounds like a different thing. So what would you like? Because you was just saying you were, there's all the extra world, the outside the main story stuff that you'd like to see. What other things would you like? Because one thing I really missed from GTA 5 were the taxi missions and the ambulance missions. Those kind of things. I mean, they're even adding that to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, like the rescue missions and putting out forest fires. Just jobs in there where you can just enjoy and just be part of that world, as Little Mermaid once said.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what I want is a really good story, and really good story missions that draws me into the world and tells an interesting tale that is a good parody of current day and that kind of stuff. That's really the core of what I want. But if I look back at what did I spend the most time doing in Vice City back in the day, it was taxi missions. I would just drive around Vice City,
Yes.
doing the taxi missions, pretending I'm playing Crazy Taxi, listening to 80s tunes, having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And
which one was this, Vice City?
yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I spent most time doing, and I really enjoyed that. So part of me is like, I sort of want to see that recreated here, where I can just vibe in a city and just enjoy it, as much as I also want the story. I mean,
think a lot of people
course, we all
want
want
that.
everything, but
No, I think a lot of people want that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did add it.
the taxi missions especially, I think, are great because that's just driving around and it just feels cool.
But also, they can use those taxi missions to show you parts of the map that you might not necessarily visit during the story. And it might be like a kind of a pop star's mansion, kind of in the woods or somewhere that isn't part of the story, but you can end up, collecting somebody from there who's really drunk after a night out, and they start telling you about. There's just so much you could do.
There's a lot of potential for storytelling in that.
Yes, I hope there is that. Because my first memory, it's really embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you, when I was playing GTA 3, and there's the coach depot.
Vaguely, I have not played that in years.
I think it's like really, really far south. Maybe it's on the edge of the map. Pretty much, there's a coach depot, and I used to go there, and you can steal a coach because there's always one there. And I used to take people on a coach tour of the map in my head.
Wow.
That's how sad I am. So yeah, that's how sad. And now I'm like, can we have coach tours in the new GTA? That would be great.
All this flashiness, and what you want is to recreate Coach Trip.
I want to be Brendan from Coach Trip. Hi guys, how's it going? Settle down. I can't really do his accent. Anyway,
Clearly.
But that's so. Are there any other things? I mean, you were talking about you used to listen to 80s music in there. I'm guessing music's going to be a massive thing for
music.
Both of us.
Okay, music is the most important thing for me in a GTA game. Like, I want good radio stations. I want great tunes. I want variety.
Okay.
I want...
Not 80s just.
I mean, if there was an 80s specific radio station as a callback to Vice City, so that, considering this is in Vice City, but in current day, if there was a specific 80s radio station in a sort of nod to the old game that you could just drive around listening to those classic tracks, I would be all over that like a rash. But I really hope that there's a good soundtrack of current artists as well. Yeah. And I really hope that within that there are some memorable adverts, because it's the adverts that I also love from Vice City, especially the Dunkin' or Rusty Brown's donuts.
Not Dunkin' Donuts.
I just love the batter all over my face.
And I've mentioned, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast before, but yeah, I used to live with the girl who sung a Clucking Bells soundtrack in GTA
San Andreas, I
think it might be, the Clucking Bell. Yeah, so the woman, she sings it in American accents, but she's the proper strongest Glaswegian woman you'll ever hear, because she's Rockstar North, and that's where.
Of course.
And I think she was chatting to a guy in a bar, and she was like, "Oh, I can sing." And they're like, "Really? Can you come and like sing this for us tomorrow or whatever?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And then she's in I don't think she's credited, but she's in San Andreas.
Wow.
Just did it as a favor. And I lived with her.
Nice.
Great. Good old Jodie.
What about you? What would you like to see in this game?
Definitely music. The radio station that I used to always listen to the most was like the world one, because I love music from all over the world. I love kind of cultural or like local music from countries that you've never heard of. Like we went to Cape Verde on holiday, and I was like, okay, let's get the Cape Verde playlist, and there's some great songs on there.
There were.
Cape Verde. I won't sing that song again that we had in our head the entire time.
No, don't put it in my head.
So yeah, I love listening to those things. But I obviously just really want just a really good story. I'm happy with it being an epic. I don't need, people go, oh, I want it to be, 10 to 15 hours. I'm like, no, if it's like a story where you enjoy just being part of the world, and there's loads of extras and stuff, I'm happy for it to take a long, long, long time. Especially the next one's going to be out in probably about 25 years. So, yeah, give me an epic. Give me some great characters, a great story. It's just when it comes out as well, and I think a lot of people will agree, is just if you do want to, if this game is going to be going on for years and years. I mean, GTA was how many years ago? 10 years? Longer than 10 years?
It was 10 years ago, I think, since this was first released. I think part of the reason it's been so long is that it came out on at the end of like PS3 360, and then was re-released, and then they re-released it again.
Yeah.
Across 3 generations of consoles, and also because there's GTA Online, that has also really helped to boost the longevity of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really interesting. It's because I think we all know that Rockstar can do a good single player game. That they will make an amazing open world single player game with a good story and great world building and all of that. That they've proven that time and time again. But I think where the innovation might happen is how GTA Online maybe gets integrated in that, or if they develop that some way as its own thing. And we don't know what they're doing with that yet, but that I think is a really interesting area.
You're asking me what I want from a game, and I would like to see how they make the longevity of it last. And it's not going to be like you play the game, you play the single player, you finish it, and then you have to wait for the next game to come out. Like some people don't care about GTA Online. But if they manage to keep it, no, same. I played it before. I played a bit of the Hot Wheels thing, and I was like, oh, I did quite well, and no money or whatever. But and I think I logged in when they were like, hey, if you log in this weekend, you get $250,000, which I think at the time bought a car, whereas now it kind of you get your nails cleaned or whatever, and that's it. I don't know. You can get nothing with that money because the economy's gone wild. But I just hope that if they do keep it going for a while, there's some single player DLC, like they promised GTA 5 and then realized that no, the money's better off in online. I hope they do have some single player DLC that they release further down the line. Also, like if you want to they could even have like a story like that comes out in episodes that people play. I don't know. I just want content. I want the game to come out and I want to play it a lot and enjoy it and stuff. But if it's going to be another 10 years, keep giving us a bit more content, especially if you've built this amazing world. Give us new stories.
Do you want that as paid DLCs, or do you want this as a live service game that is continually going?
I would definitely prefer paid DLC, but if there's because when it comes to a live service, it implies then that it's going to be online and you're going to have to interact with other people and do the heists and various other things, which I'm sure they really want you to do. But I think a paid DLC where that every now and again there's a new story that they're like, hey, we've got a DLC pack coming through, like a DLC pack of 3 episodes of this brand new character and a brand new story set in the world. And people would love that. I'm sure they'd go in there and be like, oh, this character's actually really cool. And maybe he played a tiny, tiny part in the main story, but now you can go and play his, whatever he's doing right now or she's doing right now. So that kind of stuff I would love, but I know that they see that most of their money in GTA Online. So whether...
And that's the thing. I think we can maybe the obvious thing is to have GTA Online on the side of this as a live service game, and it runs parallel. So we've got a lovely single player game, but then actually the longevity of it is with GTA Online. We don't know this yet, but maybe that is something that is being planned.
Maybe bring out, if you're going to do online, I wonder if they release anything that you're able to do single player as well. So if it's a heist, but you can also invite, 3 NPCs in, like in Final Fantasy 14. I don't know. There's online. I haven't really played much at all, so I can't really comment on what it's like. But if it's anything like what we want single player stuff.
Yeah.
And if this world that they're going to create is just huge and incredible, and a main story can't do it enough justice, then give us more DLC.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's have a very, very quick, just to finish. We'll go and we'll kind of watch we're going to be watching the trailer in the background just to comment on anything that we can see. What did you think about the size of the map from what they showed? Did you get anything from it?
Well, I think we can, if we look at history, they've obviously gone bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, San Andreas was practically a full state, let alone just one city.
Yeah.
I reckon they will probably go bigger and give us more of sort of Florida Keys maybe and other areas. But in all honesty, for me, it is density over breadth. Give me a city that is full of traffic and you can go inside buildings and it's high quality, more than giving me a huge state to explore with not much to do in it.
That's what I loved about The Division, the original one set in New York. It was actually quite a small map, but you could go into so many shops, and there were so many areas and like secret stashes that you had to that you could collect, but they were kind of hidden 3 floors up, and you could go into people's houses. And yeah, that's what I really liked. But yeah, the trailer opens up with our female protagonist in prison. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about, but yeah, she's there about to, obviously come out. And then it kind of shows the beach with, well, pretty much what you imagine Florida to be.
I mean, it's very Miami. It's very bright. It's vibrant. The music does have a sort of slightly 80s kind of vibe to it, which is a nice nod.
Even the Rockstar Games Presents has that kind of chromatic aberration 80s thing. And the interesting, they have the plane with the, that's the first thing I noticed was the plane with the sign on the back.
And what does the sign say?
That is a good question. I don't know if we don't. Oh, I'm sure there are people currently kind of zooming in, increasing the fidelity of everything. But I like there's hovercrafts in there. Have we had
hovercraft? That's hovercrafts in the Keys, so that's obviously outside the city.
Have we had hovercrafts before? I feel like we have on maybe older.
Maybe.
I'm sure because I remember getting stuck, unless it's on a different game like unless it's on another game like what's it called? Watch Dogs, but I don't think it was. But yeah, they show the beach on there, and that's the one thing I was saying about like the density of it. And I know that it's kind of pre-rendered and all that. I don't know if it's in the game.
Yeah, we don't know how representative of in-game graphics this is going to be, but if this is what they're aiming for, then that's a positive.
It shows a really, really busy beach, and if they manage to get it so that you can have a really busy beach and it doesn't impact the frame rate and stuff.
I think I can count the number of white people on one hand.
Yeah.
Which is
we're going for representation. Yeah, they're definitely. Obviously we've got the port and speedboats. I mean, you're always going to have that. One thing as well, I saw a lot of people doing like special moves and like hanging out of cars, and I wonder if that's going to be a thing that you can do.
Well, there's a bit of dancing there. There's also later on there's a woman twerking on top of a car.
Oh, there's a woman twerking with money being thrown at her in a strip club right now on this one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that you're aiming to do, Ben.
Yeah. I would love to twerk on it. I wish I could twerk. I'd probably pull my back out.
Yeah, I think you would as well.
But there's also an image quite like of the what looks like a kind of the main strip, but there's a lot of water in there, and I wonder if the water is going to kind of separate the different cities, because if it's going to be more than one city, which is what people have suggested it could be.
Maybe. I don't know the geography of Miami well enough.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a huge state.
Well, Florida is, of course.
Oh, sorry, Miami. Yes, Miami. Yeah. I don't know. Miami is not a state.
No, Miami is not a state.
I mean, it does look huge. I love kind of like the strip.
So, yeah, that strip with the hotel neon lit along the beachfront, to me, that reminds me exactly of Vice City.
Yeah.
The old game.
Yes.
And I wonder how much of a callback that is.
Also, as well, I love, we saw a nightclub with actual people inside. The amount of nightclubs where you play in game and you go in there, like in, there's one in Starfield, there's one in Cyberpunk. Like when you go in there and there's actually like 4 people because they can't quite have the density and keep the frame rate. I'm hoping that's, sticks up, like that continues. But it does look like, you said that you really want a lot of kind of density, or you want everything to be kind of compact and stuff, but it does seem
looking pretty broad. They're showing a lot of different locations.
A lot of locations, a lot of islands.
And highways leading to other areas, which kind of suggests that it's going to be pretty big.
They're going to be like, this map is bigger than, it's 10 times bigger than Skyrim or whatever. They're going to, I'm sure those quotes will come out, or people will be comparing them. There's people, kind of very rich people, at the top of a skyscraper, just enjoying the sun. And then it goes into kind of social media bits, which
so that was Dad Bod Squad was the name of that.
Hey, Pappy, save some sugar, baby, for the rest of us. So Dad,
sure.
And good old USA flags around, and then
official poach.
And there is a
have
girl.
a Vice Day with a girl twerking on top of a car. And
lots of.
This is very Instagram Live.
Yes, and then there's the interesting like a body cam bit, which was a bit. It feels a little bit like, I think it's this bit here, with like the social media and then the body cam. I don't know. It just feels a lot of kind of what you'd see on American news, because American news now is pretty much them showing, or news in general, is either social media posts, videos from that people have taken, social media posts, or police body cam in the US.
I mean, I think it that moment with the police definitely seems a lot sort of darker and more serious, and I do wonder what kind of role the police are going to play in this, because that is such a that's such a thing in GTA of the star system of run too many people over and the cops will be after you, and the cops are the bad guys, and it's always had that feel. But I think nowadays there is so much tension between the public and police in America.
Yeah.
Says the two British guys. That I think that is the sort of theme.
I mean, here as well.
And here. I think that's the sort of theme that's really ripe for exploration and parody.
Yeah.
And the way that they've got, the public being citizen journalists on TikTok and Instagram Live with all these videos, and then you've got the police coming in doing the serious bits, and then like where do the protagonists fit within that? That's a really interesting area that I think is very typical of current day politics and America.
I wonder if they will cover things like protests and stuff, because obviously the Black Lives Matter protests, they were like that didn't exist when GTA 5 originally came out. So I wonder how they're going to include that. And I really hope that they've got a decent set of writers that are from a big diverse background that'll be able to help shape it into something that is actually, that says a lot more than just, hey, this is a video game, go kill the bad guys.
Yeah.
Which is always, I mean, GTA 5 has never really been that. GTA has never really been that. It's always kind of parodied real world, but also been pretty serious at the same time as well. One thing as well, I love, like, this bit where there's a woman there with two hammers kind of staring down someone on social media. I wonder if they're going to really go into kind of the Florida man aspect of things, like the just apps, complete batshit unhinged people. I hope
so as well. The more I watch it, the more I am interested in what the potential of it is. I think the setting feels like the right kind of area to parody current day America and comment on it. And the more I see those little sort of TikTok-y, Instagram-y videos, the more I really like that vibe.
Yeah.
And that feels like something really apparent and really poignant to today. It's just how much are they going to parody that and make it comedy, and how much is it an actual comment?
Yeah.
Because I think that's something where in the past, they've been funny, but are they really commenting or making a political statement about things, or is it just presenting this funny world that is a bit like ours? And I wonder how much they'll lean into making a slightly more serious message with what they're saying in this game.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a bit deeper than I keep.
And I would like that if it's deeper.
Yeah, I'd compare it. Of course, you would. Comparing it to Watch Dogs 2, I feel like that wasn't very deep. It was very just superficial on the surface. Like there was a very, very obvious Scientology part. There was a very, I can't remember exactly, but just the tech billionaires. Like it's just very much these people, look at them, they're bad, and you obviously know who they are referring to. But also in good, like they had the mayor in Watch Dogs 2 is trans, and you're helping her out at one point, and it's just like, yeah, that's her, she's trans, people are trans.
Yeah
So I wonder,
nice.
but you never delve into anything else, and it's just like that's a character, whereas GTA might be a bit deeper and go into it if it needs to be.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So there's also, I've noticed quite a few clips, like there's a bit right at the beginning, obviously, where they're in prison and, the corrections facility in their orange jumpsuits. But there's also a guy in one a bit later on in the trailer as well. So I wonder how much, like you've said, it's interesting to see how much kind of the police are involved in it. But I wonder if like prisons and the state of prisons are going to be, if we're going to be going into a prison, will there be a prison break?
Yeah.
Because if
Quite
you're in
possibly.
prison at the start, are you about to be released, and then, or are you going to be on the run? Are you going to escape and be on the run? Or
Yeah,
everyone loves a prison break. But there's thugs on motorbikes terrorizing Vice City. Interesting. It's called Vice City. Is that the nickname, or do you think that's what it's going to be called?
It's always been Vice City.
But the thing is, the other person, the one before, when we were looking, it's literally a clip a bit before. There's a guy who is with a tattooed all over him, and the like the message on there is like a man of Leonida, and I'm trying to think Leonida. I'm guessing, I think Leonida would be. Let me go and check.
Well, if you go back a couple of frames, there's the sheriff's office badge behind, and it says Vice something county. It's always been Vice City.
No, yeah, no. I'm just trying Leonida. I'm like, because it says un hombre de Leonida, which I'm like, a man of Leonida. Is that a town? Is that a name of an area within Vice City? Is it another city?
Maybe within Vice County.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it sounds like there are multiple cities, which I think we were expecting anyway, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because they've had that before. Yeah, and then it goes into kind of, there's all sorts. Well, sorry, the dirt bikes going on. There's obviously street racing. I think street racing is quite a big thing, because I guess that will be a big online part as well.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some sex in there. Oh, do you think we'll be able to have sex with people?
Probably.
But yeah, that is GTA 6. Are you looking forward to it?
Meh.
Yeah, I think you're getting a little bit hyped after that. Our 40. Sorry, this is meant to be like a 20-minute, 15-minute podcast.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up then. I am whelmed.
That is more than, to be honest, if Ed is whelmed about something that's not even coming out for over a year, then yeah, you're gonna be part of the hype train. I think everybody is. Oh, by the way, it's now 3.5 million likes.
There you go. Yeah, like GTA's never been a series that I've been like massively into. I've played, I actually haven't played all of them. My first memory was playing GTA 1 with a family friend who was a few years older than me, and I was not old enough to be playing GTA.
Oh.
But we played it together, and he named his character Gordon Bennett, which was...
Did that give you cheats?
No, he just thought it was a funny swear word.
I remember doing playing the very first one, the demo, just over and over and over again, and I used to get the cops to come after me, and then I would make them go on the train tracks for a little bit too long, because if they were coming at you from one side of the train tracks and you suddenly moved, they get kind of like walked along the train tracks, and within a few seconds they were electrocuted and died.
Great.
And also running over all the Hare Krishna people, and it came up with Goranga.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Classic. I should play that. I would kind of want to play it just to see, because it's like one of those games that you play so much as a kid, but I never did the story. I just drove around and did stuff like that. But it'd be quite interesting to see what it's like if you actually play the game, especially as an adult rather than a kid that was far too young to be playing that.
Yep. I played quite a bit of 3 and Vice City. Vice City was always my favourite because I love the 80s vibes. And I don't think I actually finished the stories of them, but I did get a long way through the stories.
I got my friend's memory card.
5 I completed. And I've enjoyed them all. I think they're decent games. They're good experiences. It's just not my
cup of tea.
Yeah, like I will happily play them and find enjoyment in those worlds. But it's we all know my taste. I love fantasy games, so I'm just generally more of a fantasy person than a real, as much as this is realism versus fantasy.
Because I love a sim game, so kind of in the middle.
There you go. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. Absolutely, I'm not head over heels desperate to sort of jump on it.
Yeah.
It's confirmed, as I said at the start, it's confirming what we knew. So I'm not. There's a lot of potential in it, and as we've watched, I like the social media stuff. I think that could be really interesting. But it's giving me what I fully expected a Grand Theft Auto 6 to be, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. The first thing I watched when I saw it was like, this is GTA 6.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel. It feels like a sequel to GTA 5, and that is what people want. It's what will make Rockstar the most money, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it and then playing it in a year and a half time or whenever.
So, I mean, I don't know when we're expecting more. Now that this trailer one is out, surely that is the start of a series of trailers, but is the next one in 6 months' time?
Yeah, because
there's a long time until release yet. So
they don't tend to stick to kind of typical kind of Summer Games Fest
and they don't need to. It's GTA. They can release a gameplay trailer anytime and people will listen. So who knows when we'll find something out next, but it is good to know that it definitely exists outside of leaks.
Yes, and now I'm sure we'll end up learning a lot more about it. Have you had a press release yet?
I haven't checked.
Okay, well, it's going out, and all the websites that kind of show it, like GameSpot and IGN and that, they've all posted their versions of it as well. So I'm intrigued to just see, and I cannot wait to see the BBC front page tomorrow, because it will be on BBC News front page, being like,
I'm sure,
all the records that it's going to break. And yeah, all aboard the hype train for me, especially. Like GTA 3 was my favorite. I know you didn't ask, but that was my favorite, just because going from 2D to 3D, my mind was blown. I was like, what do you mean that there's a whole city I can drive around and I can just shoot whoever I want and run people over? And that just blew my mind.
See, I had that, but with Mario 64.
I wasn't a Nintendo person. Anyway, we'll be back with, I think we might be doing another, well, our next podcast might actually be very recorded as an emergency one after the Game Awards, where we're going to be talking about what games have been released, what things we are looking forward to.
And the winners.
And the winners, yeah, of course. I mean, it is an award show, isn't it?
It is an award show. It's not just advertising.
Subscribe to us on youtube.com/biggestbennis, or subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple. Just go to swappingjoysticks.com or type in Swapping Joysticks into your podcast or music player, and I'm sure we'll pop up there. And yeah, thank you very, very much for watching this, and hope you all have enjoyed the trailer. And if you've got any comments, please leave them below.
Let us know your thoughts.
I'm sure there's so many things we've missed or things that we've said that are inaccurate. So please leave comments correcting us nicely, and anything else that you think was noticeable. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.